Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. This is the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 64, Spotlight on Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Superman.
Chicka chicka. Master! Hello and welcome to the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 64, where tonight we have a spotlight on Ferris Bueller's Day Off, along with all the normal views and news that we have on the normal show. And I'm back!
Yay!
I'm back
once again.
I'm bad. He's black. I'm mad, as Lethal Weapon goes. I have been absent for a number of weeks.
Said no.
Yeah, they had me off, but I'm back on good behaviour.
I'm pretty sure I didn't have you off.
You've served your suspension.
Yeah. So I've did the crime, I've done the time, and they've allowed me back in the studio after all the fun and games of COVID and some other stuff that's been going on.
Here's to rehab.
But I am now dry.
11 more steps. Sorry. We're not mocking that. That's serious stuff.
Do you want me to hide my Amstel?
Yeah. There were no lines going down in the Hawkins household. But yeah, back in the studio. It's a lovely sunny evening in Southampton. So apologies if you can hear any dogs barking in the background or the whir of any fans, but we need it. Otherwise, we'd be sweating.
Yeah, I've managed to get the temperature down to 26. So
cool. So. I guess without further ado, let's crack on.
Everyone just let their dogs out now. It's just got really loud outside.
So before we come on to the normal slots for news and drop zone, and obviously with the spotlight on Ferris, let's have a quick whiz around the room.
Yeah, so I got a question for you two.
Oh, hello.
How was Guns N' Roses?
They were cool.
They were good.
They were good. Even sound issues to begin with sorted that out.
Yep.
The crowd, the
Was it
organisation.
Michael Monroe as well?
Don't know.
Oh.
Because we didn't even get in there for. Well, the gates didn't even open till I think
There were no
2.5
support
hours
acts.
late. No, I think there was one.
Yeah,
but
it was
just
Gary
took us
Clark
so
and
long.
Michael Monroe.
Yeah, but the organisation at the stadium was a fucking shit show. They didn't open the doors until 2.5 hours late. You then you went through a metal detector gate, showed your ticket. Great, right, we're in. No, you're not. You got another gate to get through for no apparent fucking reason.
We have to show your ticket again.
Then we had to show your ticket again. Then you got a queue for a fucking wristband that just says Tottenham Stadium on it for no reason, because you can't come out and go back in
you've
again.
already gone through two
You've gone
gates.
through 2 gates as well.
And you need to scan your ticket again.
Fucking shit show.
Yeah.
But other than that, once you're in, it's fine.
It was cool.
And the cool thing was, because everyone was waiting to get in, and there's like 4 or 5 bars, really long bars at the front as you walk through the doors. Everyone was queuing for those bars, yet there's bars at pitch side, which were virtually empty of queues. So straight in, straight on the pitch, straight to the bar.
Fair enough. It's what Axel would have wanted.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, because it took so long to get, and they were obviously waiting to get a decent chunk of people in before
they
they
would
came
start,
on
whatever.
stage, their set was cut short. But apparently not as short as Saturday nights.
Yeah, and then he cancelled Glasgow because it wasn't well. He ended up staying at the stadiums Friday night.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Oh dear.
apparently so.
So we picked the right night in the end.
Yeah.
We were there Friday going, oh, maybe we should have done Saturday after all, but I'm glad we didn't.
Yep.
No,
So, yeah,
fair
it was
enough.
cool.
Any
Not as good as-
surprises in the set? You know, any like, ooh.
No. Pretty
Okay.
much what you'd expect. A couple of Velvet Revolver songs, some Chinese Democracy songs, but the rest of it was Appetite and Illusions. So
Yeah.
nothing new.
Most of the
nothing-
classics from the back catalogue.
Ah, fair play, fair play. There's a fair few people there, though, over both days. 'Cause it kept are popping up on my social media feeds
Yeah.
of different people. I think there's a business where
Certainly a business in it.
no, like where you need to like friend meetup. So you know, like, I make Guns N' Roses, and then you tip someone and go, actually, your friend on Facebook is
Isn't that Tinder?
no, but about if you go over to that bit of the stage there, that's where Fred stood. John's
Yeah.
over there.
But
Daphne's over
you
there.
can't really do that because
and
a
Skimmy's
lot
at
of
the
them would
back.
have been, sat down anyway. So it's not like you can get up.
Yeah, but it's just, I could have done a panoramic of the stage from all the different bits I had on
To be fair,
over
though,
both
I
days.
went with the people I wanted to go with. I did.
Yeah, but you.
And if someone
there might
had
have been
posted-
someone there you didn't know.
If someone had posted on Facebook, "Oh, I'm at the Guns N' Roses gig," and if you really wanted to meet up with them, you could have said, "Oh, I'll meet you by the cameras or by the bar."
At Cult Faction, we are very approachable and friendly people. We're
I'm
just
not.
saying.
It's true, Damien's
Were
not.
you at the night when Aquaman was there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jason
that was
Momoa.
on Jason Momoa.
yeah.
Do you like Amber Heard's a bitch? Did he do anything?
I
Did he
didn't see him.
react?
I had no idea he was there until the day after.
Yeah, it looked like he had like a nice little bit in the middle, of, like above all the peasants, in a kind of like.
There was a couple of VIP
Yeah,
areas,
it was-
so
yeah.
on pitch side, but raised.
I don't remember seeing him there.
No, he wasn't in the
In-
one
in that
near where
bit.
we were.
Yeah.
But there's 2 or 3 of those.
Yeah.
It's like dotted around.
So in the crowd, it's
pitch
like it
side.
looks like he's almost on like a crane thing, like
Yeah.
like looking down, like yeah, I see you. Yeah, you can take my picture. I'm better than you.
No.
You could pay to go in there. It's not like.
Oh no, this one, that one. This was like there was like 6 or 7 seats. This was it. It
Oh,
was
no.
like-
Yeah.
oh
sort of
okay.
yeah. there's
Oh yeah, I
different-
mean, if you got money,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but when you're the king of Atlantis, you've got dosh, haven't you? And
When you stood up to Amber Heard.
yeah, I was just impressed you could see it
Very good.
for the one person
Very
that watched
good.
that show.
Yeah.
Paul.
Right. Let's move on. So that was
please
Guns
do.
N' Roses. Otherwise, we're going to be talking about Guns N' Roses for the
Yeah,
next
that's
hour.
right. There's another podcast.
So what have you been up to, Summers?
I have embarked in my refereeing career of freestyle wrestling.
Not international refereeing.
No. Although, I might not give some of them a run for their money. No, very good, very scary. And, yeah, you kind of forget how competitive parents are. Imagine a football match where it's on the touchline, where it's a whole team. Imagine when it's just your son against just someone else. And,
Rip his face off!
a little bit like that. And it's more just really, really angry afterwards sometimes.
Sweep the leg.
Yeah, it wasn't far off of that. Some guy nearly got swept out the building because of his enthusiasm for the sport, shall we say. But no, really good. Glad I'd done it. I'd definitely do it again. But it was a bit long day from refereeing and judging, sitting at the judges' table, sort of.
Did you get
like
the golden
being an
buzzer?
umpire. No, you don't get a buzzer. You get things to hold up with the points.
Oh, cool.
And but no, really good. But I'd like to do it again. Now I've done it once. Like, yeah, I'll do it again now. But that first one, you're like, I don't know what's happening. It was a bit like a deer in headlights, but got through it really good. And the kids are amazing. They're like kids that are like, because I'm like, isn't this like under 15? So like, yeah, that kid's 12, and you're like, but he's 6'2" and his neck's wider than my body. Like, yeah, he's no, but half the guys there are like kids that you're gonna see in the Olympics in like the next 10 years and stuff like that, and they're all doing like the rolling. When like land about, they roll up on like the back of their head, like on their neck and all that, and walk round and all those neck
think so.
exercises and stuff that you just you'd sort of kill yourself doing it, and they're like doing it at sort of 10 years old, and yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you get your certificate, you see.
different. I have my reference certificate, and that's a different one. But yeah, no, but they are very good, and some from all over the country as well, and a couple might have even been from another country. Can't remember now. But yeah, really good day. Nerve-wracking, tiring. It's a good sort of 15-hour day, easy, and then it's like now it's time to clear up.
You have to clear up.
Well, you got help.
Oh.
Do your bit.
Screw that.
Yeah.
I'm off down the
It's
pub.
like, do you not know who I am? I'm a freaking referee.
Saints pub's
Mofo.
probably just round the corner, isn't it?
The what?
The Saints pub is probably just round the corner
not
from where
far.
it was. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't want to. I just did that all day. I don't want to go down there for another round, which I'm sure it's a fine establishment. But yeah, so that was cool. And then it's just been Fort Park with the school, 300 odd kids at Fort Park, like 5 or 6 coaches. That was interesting on a very hot day. I must give a shout out though to the Black Mirror Maze if you've not been to Thorpe Park.
Not for a long time.
Everyone's
Black
going.
Mirror Maze, if you are listening, then
Yeah.
that's your
Yeah.
shout out.
I found a number in a phone box. It was, yeah, because a lot of people go for the rides and all that, but this is like a real screw your head up kind of thing where you have to queue up. Obviously, it's Thorpe Park, and then you then get your picture taken and go to like a computer panel where you confirm your name and your ID of your picture. Then as you go in, it's a bit like a hacking type thing as you walk through, and they're like, and your image gets put on different things. Like at the start, there's a big screen with like almost like is it Anonymous? What's the thing? You know, like the hacker thing, like on the news and all that.
The guy with the mask.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's like that, but like with a hoodie on, you can't see. And there's like these mannequin faces on the wall, and it's like, we've picked you, and we've gone through your data and all that. And it looks like it's your Facebook because the picture you've taken goes on it, and it's flicking through, and all the, like it's being deleted and all that. And the Instagrams, and all that. Some of the kids got a bit worried. I was like, it's not real, it's your picture from there, innit? Oh yeah, and all that. And it looks like it's all being deleted and it's absorbing it looks like it's channeling back up into the thing, and then your face appears on one of the mannequin faces and all that. It's really creepy and all that. Then you have to go through, and then at one bit you have to get out quick, and then you go through this other door, and it's like a hall of mirrors, and you may run into one of them if you think it's going to give way, and it doesn't. Just saying, someone did. Don't know who. Wasn't me at all. And then you go for another bit, and then you end up. Oh, it's really trippy. And there's those like air cannons that go off as you're running through. So as you open the door, and there's kids screaming, and you just want to trample them and get out and leave them behind, but you can't because you're a teacher.
Was Pat Sharp there?
No, or there were no twins either.
Oh.
I kept looking, and then eventually, when you get to the end bit, there's like this hacker person that helps you, and then spoilers, and then some really weird stuff happens, and it's even cooler, and then you kind of get chucked out. It's about 10-15 minutes, but you're actually doing something rather than just stood in a queue, running around on a ride for 10 seconds and then getting chucked off again.
Cool.
But so the Black Mirror Maze, Thorpe Park, give it a go. It's not a ride, but it'll take your brain for a ride. Ooh. Because it's mental, if you can still say that.
I don't think you can.
Okay.
But cool. Okay, so we've all been out and about. Has anyone actually watched anything on the old box, apart from Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Few bits and pieces.
Let's come to you then, Mr. Summers.
Okay, I have completed Stranger Things.
I too have completed Stranger
And
Things.
me.
Ooh. Okay, we can chat a little bit about it then, but not into too much detail. Do you want to hit the spoiler bell before we do?
Why?
Because there'll be spoilers.
Because there'll be spoilers.
But it came out last week.
Yeah, but not everyone gets to watch it straight away.
But it's like 2 weeks after
No,
it's
no,
been released.
I only watched it last night, to be
No,
fair.
it came out
so
last Friday.
If we'd have recorded on the day we would normally record, we couldn't be having this conversation.
Have you seen the new ones?
The last one.
The one that came out on the 1st of July?
2 hours, 20 minutes long.
No,
Yeah.
just checking, because like, the way you said it came out like a couple of weeks ago, I thought you
No,
were on
but
the
when
right
this
one.
goes out, it will be a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, but even so, just
Yeah,
it's
but
just it's only fair. It's
He's just
polite.
ruined the bloody Thorpe Park ride.
That's true.
I didn't
but,
tell you everything that happens.
Yeah, just it's only fair.
All right, okay.
But yeah, that was
Maybe
and I
from the
wanted to
year
make
down
sure
the
I didn't
line.
get spoiled for you as well.
Well,
you've
and
been
also,
you've been in a sickly fever all week. You might have thought you'd seen the end, but thought that was the end. There was another one.
well, also it's been all over social media
Yeah, I know,
as well,
but
isn't it?
that's people's fault for not blocking those channels. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It has won me back over now. I'm back on Team Stranger Things after kind of getting fed up season 2.
Yeah.
Kind of getting back in season 3 and kind of liking it, but not in a kind of like, yeah, it's all right, but I'm not there. And now I'm kind of back on with the way that it's finished and what they might do next.
Yeah, but just have to wait 2 years.
Probably when they're 40.
Although they have said that they are going to include a time lapse.
Now, I think it starts 5 years later or
Exactly.
something.
So,
I did read something like that.
You know, we're not too worried about them.
Yeah, they need to do that because poor old Jim Hoffa's got to stay in that shape for 5 years now. But I'll just say, you know, getting married to Lily Allen's done him some good. He's definitely worked off those extra pounds. But, yeah, no, I enjoyed it. Did some of the things need to happen? Probably not, but it did go well. And I think the best scene in all of it was Dustin and the uncle right at the end. Is it Dustin, the curly
It
hair
was,
one with the braces?
it was
Yeah.
emotional.
Well,
It's
yeah,
emotional,
it was
yeah.
emotional. And
But
I
is
was
he
surprised.
Was there a need for it though?
Oh, yeah, there always is.
No, but what I mean, because I don't know what to say, because you said there's not going to be no spoilers. But
No, we did. We rang the spoiler bell. It's okay.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is he really dead though?
Yeah, he's in bits.
He bloody better be.
Is he though?
No, he
No,
is.
because that's
He is,
annoying.
But Max
If
isn't.
they brought Max back to life, which is just ridiculous. I'm
Nah,
going
but-
off one now. I did
I don't
enjoy it.
think she's back to life.
She's alive. As it currently stands, she's alive.
Yeah, but I
In
think,
a coma, but she's alive.
But I think that's going to be the surprise later. I think she.
Well,
might.
that's just crap. They should have at least killed one of them.
But the other thing is though, he was actually over there. So where if he died there, is he really dead?
Yeah, because Barbara's still dead.
Yeah.
But did he
Because
die?
he's physically gone. It's not like Nightmare on Elm Street where it's.
Although
Yeah.
there were a lot of similarities.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Well, that's
damn.
not on purpose though. You can't.
Yeah, I know,
they're not
but-
hiding that. That's the whole
Yeah.
premise of the entire so far
But,
seasons have been
no,
homages,
his
homages to that stuff.
His death was like the coolest bit because it was the whole thing, like what he said. What
Yeah, I'm not
like
gonna
he said,
run
you know,
anymore.
he sacrificed. Yeah, he's not running anymore, and he sacrificed himself for
Yeah.
the town that hates him, and all that sort of thing. It was kind of a heavy metal Jesus, really, in his own way. He stood there and that, and it was cool. And as a 30-year-old schoolboy that he was, I thought he played it really well. It's a shame he's not going to be in it. It'd be really interesting to see what he does next. But as an actor, but yeah, that was cool. I did think. What was your view on the Russian segment of the storyline? All in all,
Pretty pointless,
A
really.
lot of it
Yeah.
was padding.
I get that because they didn't even emphasise. Well, if we kill all these, it'll weaken them wherever they are.
Yeah.
And that was cool, but I didn't see any sort of bit of where it suddenly weakened because they killed all the hounds of hell, or whatever you want to call them. Demi-Gorgons.
Gorgonzola, whatever it is. Well, maybe they were wrong.
And they're never wrong. That's the problem. No one's ever wrong in this. No one ever does anything because, oh no, that didn't work. It does always work. That's the problem. But, I don't think they emphasize, like, if they killed him, there should have been a bit, at least where he kind of stumbles
Staggered back a
and
bit,
staggers
a
back
little
a
bit,
bit.
yeah.
And goes, oh, what was that? I feel weak.
Well, the only thing was a lot of the sequences were happening all about the same time, though, weren't they?
Yeah, but you could see when the other bit happened, like when they set him on fire and that, you saw he clearly started screaming where he was in the upside down or whatever.
Yeah.
No, in the real life, because they were in the upside down. But yeah, no, it's good ideas. I just don't think some of it could have been sort of made a bit clearer in that. And yeah, I am interested to see where it goes next now. They've got me interested again. And are we? What was the lad? Is it Will?
I don't know. I'm crap with names.
The
So.
one who got kidnapped to begin with and had an itchy neck, and then it all went bad.
Oh,
Well,
the
then-
one that knows that he's back again, that he's
Yeah.
not dead.
The gay one.
Yeah, well, that's the point. Are we acknowledging that at all, or are people just not mentioning that? Like, they're doing a gay angle here because he kind of because he even cries a bit, and he's clearly
Yeah.
talking about how he feels. But like,
Boys can cry.
but no one. That's never. I've not seen that like mentioned anywhere, or no one talks about that, or.
Well,
Maybe
maybe
that's
that's
for season 5.
But
4.
no, I mean just
3.
even people going.
Six.
Oh,
2, 1.
no, but I mean even people just discussing the storyline crumbs that are being dropped there or whatever.
But
It's
maybe
just all like.
maybe they're deliberately
You're
not
asking
making a
wrong. I
big thing
don't
about it.
search the internet to find out what
No,
people
I'm
are
just
talking
saying, but
about.
like
so I don't
people,
know.
I've not heard a thing about, maybe there is a special section
We're
in,
talking about it.
in the internet. No,
You know?
I was just like, no
Just
one's
saying.
mentioning that bit.
We are.
Yeah, we are.
We're trailblazers.
We mention everything. We're on the cutting edge.
I know. I got to edit this shit.
Yeah.
When there's an edge and you look for the cutting bit, we're on it. But yeah, I just found that weird. I thought that'd been made more, especially in the current media hoo-ha of things. I thought they might have made a bigger deal out of that. But
But again, maybe they didn't want to overdo it because you had the girl that's gay, and they made a big point about that. So maybe they just
yeah,
didn't
It's just a slow burn for this carry over
Yeah.
to the next one.
fair enough.
Yeah, but I think the series was cool. I think it was a lot of padding for some places, but I wasn't complaining when I was actually watching it because it's worth worth the effort of going through some of that padding to get to the crescendo.
Yeah. Have any of your younglings watched it?
Kira's been watching it.
What's the view for the youth?
I know, so I don't know whether she's watched all the later series, but she's been catching up over the other few series.
Oh, cool.
And even some of the younger ones apparently have been watching it. not in my house, but some of their friends have, because they came over for a sleepover.
Well, my
And they
tutor
asked
group,
if they could put it on. It's like, no.
my tutor group are year 9, and we basically had leading up to it, we had a countdown every day at tutor, like on a little.
Yeah, he
So I
said
have a
last week that
PowerPoint
it's
thing
just
I have to go
madness.
through of all the different things. It was like 5 days to go, 4 days to go. And, and then they came in the morning. One of them was like, "I've watched it all already." And I'm like, "How? It's 9 o'clock now, or whatever." Just got it up all night.
Well, if it informs your original question, my 74-year-old dad has started watching it.
Cool. And he's
Not
liking
quite
it?
caught up, but I think he's on
where he
season
is, but
2.
he's enjoying it.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
came round
cool.
the other day raving about it. Oh, you watched that, do you? Yeah, I'm on season 2, isn't it? Yeah, we're on. You've got a
Season-
lot to come, Dad.
Just season 2's the slog. Tell him to stick with it. I remember
He will.
Season 2 took me like a year to get through, or 2 years. And the only reason I ended up getting through it is because season 3 had come out, and I had to finish it. But it's good. It's good. Anyone been watching anything else?
So I've started The Boys
Here come the boys.
From the beginning or from this season?
from this season. Why would I want to start from the beginning
I
again?
can't remember.
Well,
Do you not
'cause you-
remember? My memory is shocking.
Exactly. That's why you may want to go back and watch
It's
the other
true.
series.
That is true. Because to be fair, for the first 10 minutes, it was like, what happened? Oh yeah, he
I'm
did
up.
that.
I'm up to date on it. It's the last one this week, isn't it?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't remember that?
Well, no, why would I remember it? Because I purposely haven't started watching it because I've been waiting until there's a big chunk
Fair-
to
well,
watch.
yeah,
so I
sounds
don't
good.
know when it actually
Oh,
ends,
okay.
but I know that I've got at least 5 to watch.
So what did you think of the opener?
I watch it because it's good, but I know what you're getting at. It's just,
I thought it was cool.
it's just kind of more of the same, isn't it?
Bit of a piss take. That was just a pun. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I just like the fact of what haven't we seen superheroes do yet?
Yeah, but yeah, I'm not knocking it.
Yeah.
Or
No,
I didn't find it hilariously funny, but
Oh,
in the same token, I
was
don't
just
find it
more-
offensive or anything
I
either.
was
It's
just more on the fact of like, I can't believe I've done that.
I can, because they blow people up all the time and all manner of things. The scene at the nightclub or wherever it was back in season 1, with the
Yeah.
Elastic Man and whatnot. I mean, it's no different to that if you ask me. But I
Yeah.
did like the I don't know if it was episode 2, because I'm only halfway through that because Sarah fell asleep, so I turned it off. But,
That's nice of you.
when they go to the Vought theme park or wherever it is.
Oh yeah.
I found that amusing. All the signs in the background, like I can't remember what they were now.
Yeah, I
but
like you know the sort of propaganda and
yeah,
I forgot her name now from The Walking Dead. She used to be in The Walking Dead. Now she's the Crimson Countess or whatever.
I don't know. I didn't recognise her.
She was the blonde one who went on The Walking Dead. She went off with the governor, the English bloke. I forgot
Oh
his
right,
name
was
now.
she?
And then she went off with him for a bit, and then she realises he is bad, and I think she kills him at the end.
I know what you mean now. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So
I'm just going to carry on watching it, but
Yeah.
it's not lighting my fire so far. But then it's only one episode, so you got
Yeah.
to do all that kind of recap, slow build up a new story stuff.
Yep.
So
yeah. Well, fair enough. Mr. H.
Okay, so I've been watching loads of telly over the last few weeks. Right?
You've been on sick now, yeah. We'll all go and get a drink and we'll let you tell the audience.
No, so I'm not going to go through it.
and
I
I'll
mean,
just cut it all out for the edit.
a lot of the stuff is just rewatching things like Greenland because I didn't know whether I gave that a fair go.
The film,
Yeah. Gerard Butler one.
was it any more groundbreaking?
No, that was the one I didn't like.
Yeah, but so you're on the second time round, but you're like, oh, I misunderstood it totally.
No, I didn't really misunderstand it, but it was all right. Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. Went back and watched
Yeah.
those.
That's the Andrew Garfield ones, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watched Secrets of Dumbledore.
Any good? I haven't seen that one yet.
No, not really. And the worst thing is it kind of ends at the end, but I think they're making...
It ends at the end.
Well, I'd like
Well,
draw,
that's-
draws a
I thought the
conclusion.
idea there was going to be 5. That
but
was the
I
original
still
plan.
think there might be, but it's just a bit pointless because it does kind of end, but they kind of leave it open where Grindelwald is.
Well, it's like the
still
first
around.
bits again. Like for all the diehards that have read all the books, I've read some of the books and seen all the films, but it's like, oh no, Dumbledore's going to die. It's like, well, he's
No,
not.
yeah,
It's the
exactly.
same like Obi-Wan, what we were on about the other week. You know, there's no peril because
These are all. I
yeah.
don't know. I've no idea what you're talking about. But so are these prequels type
Yeah,
stories.
it's Dumbledore when he was like younger
Right. Okay.
and
Yeah.
stuff.
But yeah, it was okay. Killed a few hours. Umbrella Academy. So finished that.
I've seen the first episode so far
Okay.
of season 3.
Right, I won't say anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, got through it all. It's worth a watch.
Does the kid have a real prominent role in this one?
Not as much. I mean, they do
Okay.
try and bring some of the other characters to the forefront a bit more than some of the other series.
To be fair, there's got to be a bit in a minute where something happens to him.
Yeah.
Because in a minute, it's going to be like matey on Stranger Things where he's suddenly 7'5". I'm like, yo, what are we doing then?
No, so more of the characters get a bit more of the limelight. Yeah, so it was cool. I also went off for some reason, probably because I was just desperate of things to watch that weren't repeats or that I'd seen. And there's a film on Netflix, I think it is. It's either Netflix or Prime, called Spiderhead. So this is with Chris Hemsworth and Miles Teller. Basically, it's a it's an institution for people that, for cons that they basically taken out of prison to be part of a program where they trial drugs.
I think I've seen the trailer of this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really meh.
Meh.
It really is. And Chris Hemsworth, it's a bit of a shame because he manages to play like a charismatic professor or whatever he is, or a doctor that's trialing this drug with the patients.
Remind me, who's Chris Hemsworth?
4.
Right. Yeah.
And he does the charismatic, but he's got a bit of a dark side to him. He does that really well, and plays that bit of the role really well. But for some reason, they dig out some repetitive scenes that you've seen him doing in things like Ghostbusters. Like there's a bit in it where he does this little dance and a little ballet thing, which is pretty much an exact copy of the dance that he did in Ghostbusters. And you just kind of think, well, why? What was the point in that? There serves no point in this film.
Hang on, is Chris Hemsworth in Ghostbusters?
The one we don't talk about.
Girlbusters.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure I would have seen that. I'm sure.
Yeah. So, it's kind of a good idea, but just not really delivered really well. And as I said, it's a couple of stupid bits that ruin Chris's.
Chris,
Yeah,
oh, your mate
I
Chris.
call him Chris now.
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth role in the film needlessly. But I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it. I'd probably give it a 5 out of 10.
Ooh, okay.
Summers, back to you.
Okay. I'm still watching Miss Marvel on the Disney Plus. Still enjoying it. Again, it's Marvel. It's more aimed at the younger people. And but it does what it says on the tin. And I think it's the final. It might have even been the final one today, actually. But I haven't seen that one yet. But yeah. But it's it's enjoyable. It's an enjoyable romp of superhero-ness. I mean, if you sort of look across some of the other stuff that's out there at the moment for that age group, it definitely it doesn't talk down to the young peeps, as they like to call themselves. And
Do they?
They
Do they really?
They do now. And I'm down with the kids. It's cool.
Yeah, you're teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not Rodney Dangerfield, though, are you?
Not yet. I do have a vision of me pulling off a triple Lindy in the future. oh, that could be a film to do.
Yeah,
That a teen romp?
as I said it,
Yeah.
I thought to myself, "Oh,
Well, that's brought back memories. But yeah, no, really good. It's fun for what it is. I mean, I'd still go. It's probably about a 7 or an 8. It's not a full on.
it's not. It's a 1."
It's not a. No, I'm not going to say that. Yeah, it's it's a fun-filled romp for the younglings. I've also been watching the Orville on Disney Plus.
Oh,
New
I started
Horizons.
watching that.
Oh, I'll come to that. But season 3 at the moment is going from strength to strength. If anything now, though, I would say the writing's got so good and so sort of gripping at times, I'm missing just some of the humour. Because it's almost gone full Star Trek, better at being Star Trek than Star Trek is at the moment. But I kind of still like a bit of the weird humour that they used to throw in. And it's yeah, I need more of that back, please. But it's still good, but it's become, I don't know if it's because it's on Hulu now, because that's why it's the Orville New Horizons for season 3. I don't know if Hulu are like, we want more serious, less sort of jokes. There are jokes in it, but not as blatant as they were. More referencey type, Simpsons
I
type
don't know.
joke.
Would that make sense to buy a comedy show and then say we want more drama?
It happens. People buy franchises and then go, well, we don't want it like that, though. We're going to do it like this. And we're going to change that to a girl and change that to a boy. And that one's going to be both. Or whatever, it happens. But, yeah, it's still really good, though. Be interested in, you started it, Paul. I know you're diehard of the Federation.
I just found it really weird because it is Star Trek. So I started watching season 1. It's a funny Star Trek, but it's just feels a bit too close to Star Trek.
Yeah, that's it. Out Star Trek, I think. You got to think, when that started, that was about the same time as Discovery started. They both came out about the same time, so you could see whether that was the battle at the time when all the Discovery people going, this isn't Star Trek.
Yeah, I don't mind it. It is, it's not laugh out loud, but it is funny. Yeah, and I think I got through like 6 episodes in one fever-ridden go. So yeah, no, it's just absolutely bizarre because I am a bit of a fan of
A Trekkie.
You
Star
wore
Trek.
the badge on your school uniform.
Yeah, and so I don't dislike it. I do like it, but it is Star Trek.
It gets better after season 1 as well.
No, I'm sure it does. I think it, as you say, it's better than a lot of the other Star Trek spin-off series that have been out there.
Yeah. It reminds me of how it came out with season 1. It's a bit like, do you remember the first season of Sons of Anarchy, where it was kind of, it was all right, and then you hit that storyline about, and then it went boom. That's kind of what the Orville does. You're kind of like, oh, it's all right. Then this thing happens, and it's like, whoa, okay. It's a bit like that. But I've also been watching, because Paramount Plus is kicking in and I'm enjoying it, Strange New Worlds, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which is like the prequel of the original series with Captain Pike. Really good again, but very much sort of classic-y Star Trek with a modern budget. You know what you're going to expect. And again, oh, look, Mr. Spock's in danger. No, he's not.
Yeah.
Or whatever else. Again, it suffers a little bit from that, but it's enjoyable. Some nice cameos and things and people popping up. And I've actually gone back because I was bored. And I'm going to try and do the original series just when it's on, like episode by episode, because it's all been restored on that. And there's some really interesting moments in that.
I couldn't think of anything worse.
It's just one of those things to put on because they're all there. You can just put it on while you're having
There's
dinner.
a million things to watch in this world.
I like
Why
how you're
would you
doing
wanna
it in a
watch-
Kirk style.
Well,
I was
yeah.
just about to do. Yeah, but that's
Exact-
why. I'm not saying I'm watching it like to go, oh, what a brilliant storyline. Sometimes it's the people that turn up that end up becoming. You're like, oh my god, I didn't even know they were in Star Trek. Like because they're more famous later on, or
Yeah,
just
it's not
the
one for me
fact
because
that-
I think with Damien, I watched them. I've done it. I don't. The idea of going back and rewatching
haven't.
them. No, all right, okay, but
Just
yeah.
saying.
Yeah, I'm not like.
I just like
I think, hand on heart, I don't think I've ever watched an episode of Star Trek in my life.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's move on.
No,
so you haven't watched...
what about the film with the whales? That was a good one.
No, I know the one you mean.
You must have watched The Voyage Home.
Is that the one? No, I've seen Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
a good one.
That's a good one. I prefer Voyage Home, though.
I didn't know I've seen it because I can remember he says, "Vengeance is a death." No, what is it? It's a dish best served cold. And he's got that thing in his ear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I remember from it because it was like 80 something, I suppose.
I really struggled going outside and sunbathing for a while after watching Wrath of Khan as a kid, just in case a bug would go in my ear.
Cool.
Okay, so you haven't watched any of the Star Trek, but what else have you been watching this week?
So the only other thing I've watched recently is...
I'll talk about that science fiction-y one where they go skip back in time. Cause
we did that last week.
Yeah, but I've forgotten the name of it. But I've been watching that with Carolyn.
Oh, the Thingy Project.
Lazarus Project.
That's
you talked about, because I talked about it last week. So
what do you
when
think,
you weren't here,
Paul?
so what did you think of it?
I've still only seen the first episode, but don't worry too much.
I know. I think we're on episode 3 or something. No, we're really enjoying it.
I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it. I've watched it all. I thought it was really good.
Yeah. I was going to say it's something that's kind of been done before, but they're doing it in a kind of a fresh take.
Yeah, it's not villain of the week because that's what I was expecting. I was expecting it to be, there's going to be a disaster. They got to revert it each week.
Now we're going to stop that happening. We're going to stop that happening.
It's not. It is one story arc, pretty much. They still have the time resets, but it's one story arc.
I think it's clever.
Did I watch the finale today on the news? But sorry, carry on.
No, it's really clever. Carrying on watching it, enjoying it.
Yeah, do. It is good, and there'll be a second season.
Cool.
Apparently.
Oh, also in the school holidays, I'm holding it off at the moment, but I have a thing for 3 months free Apple TV, which I'm going to hit when it's the school holidays, and embark on some of these shows you've been telling me about, Paul.
Cool.
So that's my build-up. Because I need another app with more programs on it on my television.
So school's out, sun's out, Brett's where he should be in front of the telly.
Yeah, but I don't mind watching.
Are you not going to feel like you're cheating on Paramount Plus because you've done nothing but evangelise about Paramount Plus for the last 2 weeks?
I'll have that on a tablet next to me. And no, Disney Plus on the other side of my laptop. It's a freeway.
So the only other thing I've watched, I'm not going to go on to, is Sherwood. It was on BBC One. It'll be on iPlayer still.
What? Sorry, I missed the...
Sherwood.
Yeah.
Oh, Sherwood. I thought you said Shareworld. I was like,
No.
what's that?
What's that? That sounds interesting, but it's not that.
It sounds like Dolly Parton World, but for Cher.
Ooh.
It's just a bunch of melted plastic
Wax just melting away.
with a tree in the middle.
Anyway, so this is someone gets killed. It says an old mining town village in Nottinghamshire, hence the name Sherwood Forest, etc. And it digs up all history about the mining strikes and all that. So you what?
Was that a pun?
Oh yeah. No, it wasn't. But I don't even know I'm doing it. I'm that good. But it's all about the history of the town and what happened during the mining strikes. And there was people that still worked, people that didn't work. It's a who's who of who's currently big in the acting UK fraternity. You got everyone from your governor from Walking Dead. I've forgotten his name now. To the guy that was in
Danny Mays.
No, he's not in it. Funnily enough, but. Recently in Sweet Tooth, the doctor in Sweet Tooth, and he was in the what was the one about the comic book where they were trying to get hold of this not mythical comic book, but they remade it in the States.
Yes,
with John Cusack.
It was yellow.
I forgot what it's called now. I didn't watch the American remake, but
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah,
It's like yellow. It was a yellow poster on it.
It's got him in it. It literally is anyone who's anyone in the current sort of British acting fraternity. It's a slow burn. It's nothing to really. It's not something we would really normally talk about, but it's kind of just so well executed. I thought it was worth mentioning. I won't give anything away. Not that it's any, it's no different to a Vera, if you like, insofar as it's almost a police drama, but it's just
anything to get Vera in.
Yeah, but I guess because it goes into the history of the mining strikes, which we were about 6 or 7 when that was all going on, so we weren't really old enough to know what was going on. So it's really quite interesting. So that's worth a watch if you like that kind of thing. And that's it. that's my viewing for the last week because kids. And I got a new shed.
Yeah, I saw. It looks good.
Yeah.
All right, Summers. Last
Yes.
one you can choose.
Well, I wasn't prepared for that. I was looking at the other thing.
Utopia.
Yes. And it was Gene Hunt's brother, but I've forgotten his name now because I can't remember Gene Hunt's name.
Gene Hunt is Philip Glenister.
Robert
Glenister was in it. Yeah, he's really good in it as well.
I have been watching. I don't think I have.
Okay, cool. So we rented out The Lost City.
Oh yeah.
Over the weekend
Yep.
with Sandra Bullock,
Mhm.
Channing Tatum, Daniel Radcliffe, and Brad Pitt.
See, now I always get put off by films with Channing Tatum in because of those.
Magic
It's
Mike.
not assault on. What is it? The fall of. He's that guy, and the White House Fallen or whatever it's called. Is that him?
Mulholland Falls.
White House Down.
White House Down. That's the fella. And then there's like Olympus Down or some shit.
Olympus Has Fallen.
That's the one. Is that him as well?
No, that's Gerard Butler.
Oh, I'm getting confused.
He's the
So
guy. in-
Gerard Butler did all of the Fallen ones.
All right, so I'm thinking the other ones then. But
White
he's
House
done
Down.
White House Down. He's done
Yeah.
like about 3 films that are all the kind of the same premise, which is basically John McClane.
Yeah, so he plays the bumbling role in this one.
Okay.
Tries to be a hero type role. Brad Pitt is the quintessential hero in it. Something happens, and then Channing Tatum may have to help Sandra Bullock out.
Is she on a bus?
No, she's in
It's not good then.
She's in a spangly purple dress throughout the film, and all of these different scenes and sceneries and settings. It's all right. I'd give it 5.5, 6 out of 10. There's some funny bits in it. Nothing laugh out loud, but it's nice just seeing Sandra Bullock back doing a role which it's the
Playing to her strengths.
yeah. I mean, nothing really groundbreaking.
You were trying to avoid that, weren't you?
Yeah.
It's not like a Gravity where she plays something different. This is back into the, I was going to say Legally Blonde days.
Miss Congeniality.
Miss Congeniality, 2 weeks notice type
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock roles that we know and love her for. And Daniel Radcliffe is the same bad guy, basically, that he was in Now You See Me Too. Exactly the same.
I like that film where he was the cop that went undercover with the Nazis.
Yeah, it's not that, though.
Apart from the fact he looked about 12 and he was undercover.
We talking Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they've gotten to do basically the same character in Now You See Me Too. As the
And
bad
of course,
guy.
we forgot Channing Tatum was also in the 21 Jump Street movie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which was great.
Yeah, but if you're stuck for something to watch, fancy a bit of Sandra Bullock on the box, give it a watch.
Many of us have.
There's a better way you could have phrased that.
News desk.
The news.
News items. News items.
Bong! Magnum P.I. has been saved.
Yes, it took a while, but as we predicted, NBC have saved Magnum P.I. It has ordered 2 more seasons of the modern take on the 80s classic.
None of us have watched it, have we? So
I've seen bits of it,
Have you?
and it's weird, but it's good.
Yeah.
Higgins is a girl, because, we have to do that nowadays.
because it's
But
this year.
Does she still have a tash?
not the episode I saw. But yeah, it's done some tie-ins with Hawaii 5-0 here and there, and different police people have moved about between the shows. So it's built its own little.
To be fair,
universe.
I've not seen people dissing it, and if NBC have picked up for another 2, it can't have been that bad. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else to add to that? Nope. Okay. Bong. Official synopsis and air date announced for the Quantum Leap reboot / continuation.
NBC have now unveiled the official synopsis for Quantum Leap, the upcoming reboot continuation of the classic US TV series, which picks up some 30 years after Scott Bakula's Dr. Sam Beckett failed to make it home.
It's been nearly 30 years since Dr. Sam Beckett stepped into the Quantum Leap Accelerator and vanished. Now, a new team, led by physicist Ben Song, has been assembled to restart the project in the hope of understanding the mysteries behind the machine and the man that created it. Sorry, I'm just trying to find my mouse so I can scroll down. Everything changes, however, when Ben makes an unauthorized leap into the past, leaving the team behind him to solve the mystery of why he did it. At Ben's side throughout his leaps is Addison, who appears in the form of a hologram only Ben can see and hear. She is a decorated army veteran who brings level-headed precision to her job. At the helm of the highly confidential operation is Herbert Magic Williams, a no-nonsense career military man who has to answer to his bosses, who won't be happy once they learn about the breach of protocol. The rest of the team at the headquarters includes Ian Wright, who runs the artificial intelligence unit Ziggy, and Jen Chu, who heads up the digital security for the project. As Ben leaps from life to life, putting right what once went wrong, it becomes clear that he and the team are on a thrilling journey. However, Addison, Magic, Ian, and Jen know that if they're going to solve the mystery of Ben's leap and bring him home, they must act fast or lose him forever.
Quantum Leap is set to premiere on NBC on Monday, September the 19th, 2022.
Not long to go.
Looking forward to it. Again, I'm a big fan of the fact they brought Herbert Magic Williams back as a character. Well spotted on that one, Damien. Originally played by...
I have no idea who originally played him.
Yes, we do.
Do we?
Winston Zedmore.
Was
I've
it?
forgotten his name.
You sure?
No, he plays him now, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. Yeah, he's playing him now. Yeah, no, who played it?
I don't know. I don't remember it being...
No, he's being played by Winston Zedmore anyway. Name him with Winston Zedmore in, whose real name... No.
Were you going to say Harold Ramis?
I'm totally blank.
I wouldn't say D, but... No, that's the... it doesn't matter.
Hudson.
Ernie.
Ernie Hudson.
Come on, men. I'm the one with the crap memory, and at least I got Hudson out of all of it.
What I'm really looking for is Ernie Hudson playing Herbert Magic Williams, though, because anything he does is gold.
Yeah. And certainly memorable performances.
Oh, definitely. You'd never forget a man like that.
Right, next up in news.
Bong. Cinemas ban teens in suits over hashtag Gentle Minions trend.
Yes, some cinemas have banned young people wearing suits from screenings of Minions: The Rise of Gru over rowdy behaviour fueled by a TikTok trend. Teenagers following the hashtag Gentle Minions trend have been accused of making noise and throwing things and trashing screenings. Videos showing young people dressing up in suits to watch the movie in large groups and cheering loudly during the screening have gone viral on TikTok, racking up millions and millions of views in some cases. Guernsey's only cinema had to cancel further screenings of the movie, blaming stunningly bad behaviour, including vandalism, throwing objects and abusing staff. The Regal Cinema of Weybridge, Cornwall, posted a notice saying it would no longer admit unaccompanied children wearing suits to screenings of the movie. I hope they clarified what kind of suits, because I'm sure there's a few dapper kids down in Weybridge. And images on social media showed several Odeon cinemas displaying signs warning customers due to recent disturbances following the Gentle Minions trend. Any group of guests in formal attire will be refused entry for the showing of the Minions: The Rise of Gru.
So society's been complaining for years about kids being really scruffy. Now they're getting smart.
Yeah.
They're complaining.
Shouldn't it
again.
be in informal attire?
Well, that's the point, because they're in formal attire. So that's why they're banning them.
Yeah, formal attire is a suit and tie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it says any guests in formal attire will be refused.
That's exactly right. You're an English teacher. Come on, man. In formal attire.
They're two words, not one.
Yeah, but the formal attire is a suit and tie. You're saying people dressed as Minions.
No. They're dressing up in
They're
suits.
dressing up as
I haven't
suits
seen.
and
That's what I
ties.
said. I said, I
Wait,
thought you meant.
just read it.
Yeah, what did I say?
Did you not take
before
any of it in?
I was reading. I wasn't taking
Oh,
it in.
jeez.
I'm like Ron Burgundy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, so the Minions wear suits and ties. I thought you meant they were like in their little blue dungarees and yellow things. Going,
No. They're wearing suits and ties.
Oh, this is new to us. I said
Going
I've
to the
seen it,
cinema.
but I haven't
That's
examined
the
it
trend.
yet.
For some reason.
So it's like a smart clockwork orange.
Yeah.
We've got gangs of rowdy youths terrorising cinemas.
That's why it said children wearing suits. I thought they meant Minion suits.
No.
Oh.
Actual suits.
So
Which
it's
I think is what we saw when we were on the way train back from London the other day.
Yeah.
All those kids on the platform at Winchester. I reckon that's where they were going now.
And that was the only reason we accosted them.
It's the only reason we beat the living shit out of them.
Yeah.
So what they
Little
should do, if I
fucktards.
ran a cinema, if all those kids are in suits, I'd have pulled Minions and put Goodfellas on. And see what, see what they did when they left then in the suits.
Yeah.
Hey, hey. Makes it clearer now.
Cool.
Yes. Wow, that's pretty cool. I know what I'm watching tonight. Kids trash and stuff. Fight
Right.
the power, kids. Hashtag gentle minions. Rise up.
Anything else going down in the news?
Also, in sad news this week, we lost the legendary actor James Caan at the age of 82, and we also lost the Yu-Gi-Oh manga game creator Kazuki Takahashi at the age of 60. Two heroes of cult who will be remembered forever.
スポットライト
So tonight's spotlight is on Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So written and directed by John Hughes, starring Matthew Broderick, Alan Ruck, Jennifer Grey, Mia Sara. Ferris Bueller's Day Off tells the story of a high school slacker who skips school for a day in Chicago and regularly breaks the fourth wall to explain his techniques and inner thoughts. So, just seeing what you guys are up to. You were taking a huge
was having
swig, so I didn't want to
I
come
was
to
having a
you.
bit of a drink.
And Brett was doing something on his phone. What are our memories of this from the olden times then, back in the 80s?
To me, this was always one of those films that for years I would catch bits of at different times, and sort of like it had been on and you turn over and it was on and it was like, oh, it's that film again. And it was probably a fair few years after where I actually finally got to watch the whole thing. I remember liking it and just sort of, oh, that's cool, there's that bit again, or oh, that's that film where that bit happens, isn't it? And then you sort of patch it together over the years, and eventually one day I learnt what it was and actually got to watch it properly, and yeah, it was really cool. But it was always one of those, to me, it was one of those mystery films that kept popping up every so often, or I'd see bits of it.
It was different for me because Phil, my oldest brother, was really into it. And as soon as it came out to buy on VHS, he got it.
VHS.
So every time that I had the opportunity to, I'd probably watch it as well without him knowing about it. Otherwise, he'd probably kill me. Yeah. So I probably watched that as opposed to some of the other films that we talked about
Yeah.
more nearer the time of its actual release as opposed to a few years later.
For me, it's one of those that's just kind of always existed. I think I've said this about 3 or 4 of the films we've done so far. It's just always been there. I obviously certainly didn't go to the cinema. Didn't have Sky Movies when it first came out, but I do remember watching it on Sky when we eventually got Sky, because it's probably one of those ones that was on rotation. But
As I say, I think that's right. I caught bits of it over time. You'd sort of turn over and it was on. Yeah.
but I'm pretty certain I knew some of the quotes before I'd even seen the film. Most definitely. But we'll no doubt come on to that stuff later.
And even now, it is one of those films that just pops up on TV every so often. It's, you know.
Not as much as it used to. Which is a shame.
But nowadays, it probably doesn't. They probably, whoever's got it has locked it away
It's
on,
probably
on there.
Well, the funny thing is, so it's on Netflix for free. It's on Prime for $3.99.
Yeah.
And I think it's also on Paramount, which you obviously then have to subscribe to.
I'm sure it comes up every now and again on Sky as well.
Yeah, it's bound to. Because every now and again, Sky will change one of the
Yeah.
titles of their channels to
Yeah.
Sky 80s or something.
Yeah. Teen.
And then have
Teen
the
movies.
same, like,
Same
10
thing.
films on rotation.
It's like that music channel that always have, it's either love songs or movie songs, but it's the same videos.
Cool. So should we talk about the casting?
Yeah, let's go
Yeah,
through
go
that.
for it.
Do we
Go
want
for
to
it.
take one each?
Yeah, go on then.
Just so it's
Okay.
not just me talking all the time. So John Hughes originally said that he'd had Broderick in mind when he wrote the screenplay, saying that Broderick was the only actor he could think of who could pull off the role, calling him clever and charming. But other actors who were considered for the role include Jim Carrey, John Cusack. Yeah, kind of see that.
I don't know.
Maybe Johnny Depp, Tom Cruise, and of course, actor at the time that was pretty much everywhere, Michael J. Fox.
I can't see Cusack or Johnny Depp pulling that off. Tom Cruise, I've no opinion. I'm not even going to comment
Jim
on.
Carrey, I mean,
Well, we got no real reference point for Jim Carrey
I mean,
at
this
that
would
time.
have
have
been
we?
this would have been Peggy Sue Got Married, Jim Carrey, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been. That was.
That's
I think
it.
that
You've
was
got
about
that,
86.
and you've got
yeah.
his appearance in Deadpool.
Well, that's years. That's after this. So that was about 89.
That's what I mean. That's
Yeah.
but that's just,
That's what I mean. No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm
give me a
just
fucking
saying.
break. I mean, it's the
I'm
same
agreeing
time
with-
period.
no, but I'm
You're
agreeing
not
with you.
agreeing with me.
I'm saying, yeah, that was about. That was absolutely saying we haven't.
It
We
was
didn't have
afterwards,
much
but I'm
for
just
him.
trying to, a point of
Yeah.
reference is that's the only two things that we've got really, because then he pops up in not Living Colour.
Yeah,
in,
it was living.
It was Living Colour.
Colour. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done.
See, I doubt myself every time. Once that
Yeah.
mic hits record, that's it. I doubt
Yeah.
everything I'm saying.
I can
No,
see
you're right.
Michael J. Fox doing
Yeah, I can see-
the end chase back home
I can
really
see him-
well.
he's got. I mean, you know, in Back to the Future, he's almost like he's
Yeah.
basically a cocky teenager, isn't he?
Yeah.
So you can see him doing that. But I don't know about Tom Cruise.
Just to think who else would have been at the time that might have
Let's not do that again. We did
No.
this last week with
other people. All
other,
right.
but yeah.
All right, then we won't do that.
Well, I'm just saying, you know.
Right, come on.
Okay. Okay. Well, John Hughes wanted an older actor to play Sloane, saying it would take an older girl to give her the dignity the character deserved. And Mia Sara was only 17 at the time and surprised Hughes with her performance so much she landed the role. Did she also lie about how old she was? I'm sure I read that at some point, but maybe not.
Quite possibly.
Molly Ringwald had wanted to play Sloane, and being the fact that she was like the John Hughes favourite,
Yeah.
but he wouldn't let her and said the part wasn't big enough for her. So
That's
to
fair
speak.
enough. I mean, it's not. Say it's not. It isn't a big part. It didn't really do a lot in it, so you can see why you would
Yeah,
have said
it's
that.
not. It's not as big as you think it is when you watch it back,
Yeah.
is it? Because she's kind of in it here and there, but she doesn't do much.
No, you wouldn't. I forgot what the test is now, but she wouldn't really pass that. There's a test, isn't there?
Yeah.
About how much a female character contributes to the film. Is
So,
it just
yeah.
like there to be eye candy? Is it just there to be someone to talk to? That kind of thing. She wouldn't pass that test. Alan Ruck auditioned for the role of Bender in Breakfast Club, which obviously eventually went to Judd Nelson. Why does my screen always go blank just when I'm reading? But Hughes remembered Ruck and cast him as a 17-year-old Cameron Fry. The role had originally been offered to Emilio Estevez, and he turned it down. At the time of filming, Ruck was actually 29 years old, so what, 12 years older than the age he's supposed to be playing?
Well, in Hollywood at the time, that was probably normal.
Yeah.
We hadn't even got to Luke Perry and Jason Priestley turning up at sort of 35 playing teenagers
Yeah.
at school yet.
He doesn't look
No, he doesn't.
that much older.
No.
So, yeah, he's obviously got some good
He's
genes.
got that kind of baby face, doesn't he? So,
Yeah.
He don't look that different now, apart from he's really grey.
yeah.
Yeah.
And a few lines on his face. If he's 29
Is he
then,
in Speed?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
I think he's in Speed on the bus, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
And-
one of the
One of the
passengers.
passengers, isn't
And
he?
didn't he? Was he the one? He done that program with Michael J. Was it Spin City? He was in that as well.
He
wasn't
was in Spin City. Yeah.
in Star
Yeah,
Trek as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Spin City's a very underrated show.
I liked it when it was
That
on.
was really good.
I can't remember much about it, but I remember
No.
liking it
Yeah,
in a kind
me
of
neither.
school holidays kind
Yeah.
of way.
Anyway,
There was no Caroline in the City though.
Right, so let's give a quick rundown of the plot then, for those who may not have had the delights of Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Or maybe heard of it even.
Yeah, for those of our younger listeners. So, in suburban Chicago, the month before graduation, high school senior Ferris Bueller fakes illness to stay home. Throughout the film, Ferris breaks the fourth wall to comment on his friends and give basically the watchers all of his life advice. His parents believe he is still ill, though his sister Jeannie does not. Dean of Students Ed Rooney is determined to expose Ferris's repeat truancy. Ferris persuades his best friend Cameron Fry, legitimately absent due to illness, though Ferris sees through his hypochondria, to help excuse Ferris's girlfriend Sloane Peterson from school. Pretending to be Sloane's father, Cameron calls Rooney and says that Sloane's grandmother's died. To complete the ruse that Sloane's father is picking up his daughter from school for a fictional family emergency, Ferris borrows Cameron's father's prized 1961 Ferrari 250 GT California Spider, lovely car. Cameron is dismayed when Ferris wants to take the car on a day trip in downtown Chicago, but he promises that he will return the car as it was, including preserving the original
Man,
odometer
yeah, I remember that.
mileage.
Just thinking about it as we've read that out, are all the Futurama characters named after John Hughes characters? Because we've
I've
got
never really watched Futurama,
well,
so
we've
you're going
got
to have to explain.
the main characters are Fry
Fry.
and Bender.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
And I know Bender was named after Bender.
Yeah.
We talked about that in the last episode. Go back, check it out. But just, I hadn't even thought of that Fry,
Fry.
yeah. Oh, no, it's just thinking out loud.
So-
I'll have to look into that. But yeah, sorry,
This,
John.
so that the section you've just read out, Paul, for me is where the kind of the film peaks here, for me, because you've got the bits. So where he's talking to the camera
Yeah.
before he, I think it's even, or maybe he's already convinced his parents that he's off sick. Either way, but he's talking to the camera, and you can see he's tying a knot around something, which is you don't really pay any attention to what he's doing. He's talking to you about, that was probably the worst performance I've ever done, being off sick, and all that sort of stuff. I think he's saying, my sister got a car, I got a computer.
Oh,
But
computer.
he's tying something. You don't really pay any attention to it, but then what he's doing there, you get a call back to in about, I don't know, 45 minutes time. So that's really cool. You've got the scene where Rooney and I don't know what the secretary's name is, but that
Yep.
the farcical bit in the middle there where he's convinced that it's not Sloane's dad on the phone.
Rooney!
Yeah, I'd love to be able to do that voice, but I'm not even going to attempt it.
Oh, don't let me come down there. I want you outside the school.
But yeah, just wanted to highlight that for me is the peak of the film. So
Yeah, I was just going to say, this is probably one of the few Hughes ones as well that doesn't take place in Shermer in Chicago, Illinois. Like his made-up town. It's just left as a kind of.
you say that, I think there is a
Does
scene
it
where it says
reference
Shermer High School.
Oh, it does reference it then.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Because I was sort of looking for it. I thought, "Okay, this is the one I don't remember it in.
Yeah, so these all could be kids in the. Well,
Like
they
the
are kids in the same school,
same
but
school,
this
yeah.
will all be the same time period.
Yeah.
And Rooney is the principal, and the
Yeah, because we've met the vice principal.
exactly.
Yeah. Last week. Check it out. Yeah, so, but I wondered if that was, because this is one of the one where he breaks the fourth wall, so I wondered if it was kind of it was setting it in a different universe type thing, But, that's cool if he does. I have to check that out. I missed that. But yeah, the fourth wall stuff here, it's been done before at this point in cinema and TV, but I don't think it's ever been done this well and such a part of the storytelling experience
Yeah.
for the viewer. And I think this is what then spurs on what we end up seeing growing through shows like through the 90s to now. Even Saved by the Bell owes a lot to Ferris Bueller. That whole...
I think Saved by
those
the
sort
Bell
of-
owes a lot to Hughes. Full stop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. But the whole, there were many bits where he would, everyone would just freeze. He would explain something, it would carry on and all that. And they just, this is where those seeds are planted that will regurgitate back through cinema and TV history. Now, this is it. And this opening scene sets that scene. All the characters are introduced. The what's the word? The plight is introduced. And
I don't know. It depends what you're going to say after the word plight, because the
Yeah.
plight of all the
the plight of the going through without getting caught, and no, I'm trying to think, what's the word I'm looking for? For the car, the car's introduced. The car's got to be back. The mileometer's got to be back to normal.
all the jeopardy.
The jeopardy. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, this is a really good bit where the jeopardy is introduced. The plight of our protagonist and his friends as they try and stay off school and not be detected truant. We get to meet the headmaster or head to your principal, and we're introduced to that. So it's almost setting up the chessboard that will be played out over the next hour and a half.
Is it probably worth now? We should probably just mention it now, then draw a line under it, and just move on.
I know what you're going to say.
So-
The elephant in the room?
The elephant in the room is Ed Rooney, whose name I haven't actually written. I haven't written him down, have I? Who starred in it?
It's Jeffrey Rush. No,
Yeah.
Jeffrey.
No,
No,
it's
it's
not
not
Jeffrey
Jeffrey
Rush. Not
Rush.
Jeffrey Rush.
No, it's Jeffrey Jones.
Jeffrey Jones. So, yeah, we are fully aware that back 5-10 years ago, he was done for having images on his computer. He's been done for a few things. Obviously, not condoning that, but we're just that's what it is. What it is, but it's still a piece of art that we're going to look at.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah. We're reviewing the film, not him personally.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, you can carry on with the prop. Jesus.
What?
Carry on with the plot. I'm not. It's
Okay.
Thursday. I can't. I obviously clearly can't talk on a Thursday.
Stop doing a Ferris and telling the audience what's going on. Okay, so they leave the car with some parking attendants who promptly go on a joyride with it, which is probably another movie somewhere else. And then the trio explore the city, including the Art Institute of Chicago, with a scene that has just been ripped off by everyone ever since.
Yep.
You see Sears Tower, the Mercantile Exchange, and Wrigley Field. Their paths occasionally intersect with those of Ferris's father, Tom. Cameron is just worried throughout the whole thing and panicking the whole time. Very much the Millhouse template we come to see later on. Ferris attempts to cheer him up by joining a parade float with the Von Steuben Day Parade and spontaneously lip syncs Wayne Newton's cover of Dankenschauern, folled by a
Dankeschön.
Dankeschön, sorry. Followed by a rendition of the Beatles' cover of Twist and Shout, which excites the gathered crowds and draws attention to him, even though he may be being truant. Which is, to be fair, that is normally what happens when kids go truant. They end up doing something that draws more attention to them to start with, from experience.
So there's a lot going on there. There's a lot that happens in this segment that we've just seen.
And I think that the one of the things that sets this aside to a lot of the other teen type movies is, you know, if this was another one of those around the same time, then they'd have gone for a joyride, done some drugs, you know, gone to bars, all that kind of stuff. But actually, his day out is completely different. It's seeing the. It's more intelligent. It's more, you know, him trying to be the adult that.
Well, I mean, it's John Hughes' love letter to Chicago, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's the humor from the film doesn't come from like
From kids,
yeah,
being kids, if you like.
yeah. It's all the banter and the other comedy as well, and it also, you know, a lot of the scenes are really poignant, you know, and it's one of the things that John Hughes does really well as well, where even though it's a comedy, you know, he really delves into Alan Ruck, Fry's.
You better say Alan Rickman, weren't you?
No, it's just I didn't know whether to call him Fry or Alan Ruck, but he really delves into all of their backstories, even, you know, Matthew Broderick and his sister, which we'll come on to later on, you know, and uses that museum scene and the piece of music going on in the background, and, you know, the image of Fry just stood there, where it's almost like a Morrissey tune in the soundtrack when they're in the
Institute of Art.
yeah. And it's just the really clever scene where he's just staring at that photo and it goes in and in to the kid's face, and it's just really clever as well.
It's a painting, but yeah,
What did I say?
photo.
Oh, picture, whatever. Yeah, painting.
Just, you know, I needed challenging, otherwise we get letters.
So he's taking them on all of these grown-up tours of the city. And it's not doing it for Fry. You know, he's not having a good day. He hasn't seen anything special or whatever. The real.
But is he? Maybe he is, because it's clear that his parents don't do anything. We don't even know if his mum still lives with him or not. We've got no clue. But we know that his father's overbearing and pays more attention to the cars that he's got in his super duper garage.
Yeah, the cars
so
mean
you
more
don't
than
know
he does.
that he's not
Can
doing
I-
that to give
but-
Fry a day off.
But what I mean
day
is,
out.
it's almost underplayed, highbrow activities until he says to Fry, you know, "Come on, we're doing this for you. You know, we've had all these great adventures," and you know, and he says, "Well, you know, I haven't seen anything good today. And then he goes full blown when he gets on the parade and does the songs. So up until that point, it's all kind of sedate, grown up activities, and then he blows it out the park.
Can I bring up the Fry theory?
No, let's do the Fry theory afterwards.
Okay.
Because I know what the Fry theory is.
Yeah, no, that's right. No, I just thought it might fit on what he was saying about Fry.
We can
but
go back.
Yeah, that's right. We'll go back. It's okay. It's okay.
Just, you know.
Now you have to listen in to find out what the Fry theory is. And I'm breaking the 4-4, just like Ferris. Yeah, but no, it's a good little scene again. You get the jeopardy, you get the fun, you get all the little bits that all the wheels are in motion behind them as well. His dad's around. There's more pieces on the chessboard.
One thing to add is Paul McCartney wasn't overly impressed with the brass bit being added to Twist and Shout.
Why?
Didn't like it. He said if it needed brass, we'd have put brass in the song.
Yeah.
But
I wasn't overly impressed with Paul McCartney at Glastonbury. So.
Well, Hughes' response to that was, well, we had brass on the screen. So we had to make a sound for the brass instruments being on the screen. It's not like we actually re-recorded the song. It's just overdubbed onto the movie soundtrack, if you see what I mean. So there we go. This is a little side. Anyway, so meanwhile, attempting to prove Ferris's truancy, Rooney prowls the Bueller family home, getting into several pratfalls. At the same time, Jeannie, frustrated that the entire school blindly supports Ferris, skips class and returns home to confront him. Surprised by Rooney's presence, she knocks him unconscious. As Jeannie phones the police, Rooney gains consciousness and goes back outside, accidentally leaving his wallet behind. When the police arrive, they are unconvinced and arrest Jeannie for making a false report. Waiting for her mother at the police station, she meets a juvenile delinquent friend of Ferris, who advises her to worry less about what Ferris is doing and more about her own life. That's where we get a nice little cameo from Tiger Blood himself. And he's been playing the same person ever since.
But the thing that made me laugh about that is it's like playing like a drugged out, rocked out weirdo at a police station. And apparently he stayed up 2 nights with no sleep to method act his way into doing that. It's like,
that's like he's only in it for like 5 minutes in total. That's commitment, isn't it?
Yeah, but then, is it commitment or was Charlie Sheen just doing that anyway? And happened to be on set and realised he was in the film.
He'd forgotten.
Yeah.
He's been on a bender for 2 days. Shit.
Yeah, that is a memorable scene though, and little did we know that 2 of cinema's leading lights in the next few years would cross paths at a police station like that. And dare I say it, Principal Rooney plays the foil well.
Yeah,
the pratfalls, as a character again.
Not focus on the other side of it, but his performance in this is really good. He does the comedy so well in that kind of Looney Tunes way. When
slapstick kind of, yeah.
You think Roadrunner Wile E. Coyote. He runs off the edge of a cliff, and there's that couple of seconds before he realizes that he's run off the edge of a cliff, and then he drops. You've got that. It's very much the same as that in this. So, he looks around and the dog's growling at him, and you get that kind of.
It's the facial expression you get.
It's like, I know what's going to happen here. Yeah. But there's that 2 or 3 seconds before it does actually happen, and there's another. I think he's looking through it's either looking through the peephole of the door or he's looking through something, but you just get that really close up of his eye, and he does that. It's just really well done the way he widens his eye into the shot.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. He is very just Looney Tunes, isn't he? Yeah. Even I'm thinking back when he was in Howard the Duck as well, and that sort of, or Howard a Newbody Hero. No, but he has got that kind of face, I guess, for lack of a better term, and a lot of his little quips were ad libs as well, weren't they? And the skill the acting skill he had.
It's just a great bit as well, where Jeannie's like kicking him in the face. And by the time it takes him to fall to the floor, she basically runs at 1,000 miles an hour upstairs, just in time for him to fall on the floor.
Yeah, no, it is a good bit, and again, you get a kind of parallel to it later on near the end as the finale builds as well of him trying to. But I won't get to that yet. But like the him trying to catch him and the things before, and then it all. it all blows up in his face. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, I was going to.
Well, I started talking about it, I thought I can't talk about it because we haven't said that bit yet. So,
Okay. Right, so upon collecting the Ferrari and heading home, the friends discover that there are quite a considerable amount of miles on the odometer than they thought, and that they could have added themselves. Cameron becomes semi-catatonic from shock, but wakes up after falling into a pool. Ferris is forced to save him, much to Cameron's amusement. Back at Cameron's house, Ferris jacks up the car and runs it in reverse to rewind the odometer. This ploy fails, and Cameron snaps, letting out his anger against his overbearing father. Repeatedly kicking the car, he causes the jack to fall, and the car races in reverse through the plate glass window and into the ravine below. Ferris offers to take the blame, but Cameron declines the offer, deciding to finally stand up to his father. Meanwhile, Mrs. Bueller arrives at the station, upset about having to forego an important real estate sale, only to find Jeannie kissing the delinquent.
big scene. The thing I remember from that is Cameron having a cool house because it was like
It's like a museum.
Yeah.
And just like that sort of garage where it was like over a ravine, and if you went out the wrong way, it was like the big dip because you didn't have that in Southampton.
No,
you know,
not many ravines in Southampton, to be fair.
You got the valley, Hanny Rise, but no, but it was like wow, is it? And then that's probably the car bit going in reverse and then kicking it is probably like my first memory of the film, and that drop and seeing that really cool car going down and
the other thing is, it's I remember, and even when I watched it, even though I knew it was going to happen, it was like such a gorgeous car. Just to see it go out that window and then just crash, and you're watching the characters and the look on Ferris's face when it happens, and at the same time you think, oh my god, that's a gorgeous car. I just
I wonder how many takes that took. Did they have more cars, or did it?
No, they only had 3 cars in total, 2 of which were drivable, one of which wasn't.
Okay. I always remember, to me, I always thought they'd killed the car from Smokey and the Bandit. It's probably not anything like it, but I was never a car person.
No, it's not the car from Smokey and the Bandit.
But was it a Ferrari?
Yeah, Smokey and the Bandit's
Trans Am.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Pontiac
Okay.
Firebird.
Yeah, whatever. But as a small child or a young person, it was like a red cool sports car, and that was the only other red cool sports car I saw. The only other car I liked that time was orange with a Confederate flag on the roof, so don't go too hard on me.
Well, you're forgetting Magnum P.I.'s Ferrari as well.
What? Maybe I thought.
Because it was a black Trans
Maybe I thought
Am
it was
in Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah, but Magnum was the bandit, really, wasn't he? He was the TV bandit
Just because they both had mustaches.
and red cars.
Smokey and the Bandit had a black car.
Oh yeah, he had a red shirt.
Jesus Christ, have you had a stroke or something?
I don't know. Thought Park's mad. I told you that ride was mad. But that was that car going down. Even that's the bit I always remember. That's my first memory of this film. And poor Cameron.
Yeah, but it was cool in a lot of ways because he has that catatonic bit in the swimming pool. And then, when Ferris saves him, Ferris Bueller, you're my hero. Then when he saves him, it's just, again, there's this flip that's been, switch that's been flipped rather. And you are seeing him come out of a shell completely.
Yeah,
after
definitely.
that
I
point.
mean, watching it older, this has a whole different meaning to they smashed a car up. It's one of my metaphors. Because it's almost like, the pulling him. You could almost say the pulling him out of the swimming pool, almost like his rebirth as a new person.
Yeah.
And he's not going to take it anymore.
Yep.
Twisted Sister is ringing in his eardrums. And it's finally Cameron's time to stand up to his father and fight back.
Yeah. And Ferris has succeeded. Because, he originally says that Fry is so tight, if you shoved a lump of coal up his ass in 1 week, you'd have a diamond.
Yeah.
And, after he's saved, he relaxes loosens up and he comes out of his shell.
But is this a statement, do we think, for young people at the time? Is it the pressures of parental expectation? Remember, this was the teen movie.
Yeah.
Is that what it was trying to teach us?
Well, it's just one of the characters, isn't it? So for Fry, it was all about, he had to make the grades.
Yeah.
He had to, live up to his parents' expectations. However, his dad thought more about the car than him. Whereas, Ferris was the golden child that could do nothing wrong.
Yeah, get through. Because that's what I think with the 4-4 element as well. Is he talking to us and Cameron? Is he telling us, we need to... Well, he is telling us, we need to take a look around, take things less seriously. Maybe not smash up a sports car.
But life is for living. It's not just about school. Yeah.
So is the message is clear here. We've had Cameron's rebirth from the pool.
Yeah, and also from Jeannie as well. We've got the whole bit, she's stressed out because Ferris gets away with anything, and the line is, well, why don't you do that? It's like, you don't have to, let him get away with everything. You could. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because she's got herself some tiger blood, hasn't she? Or she will have. So the important message there that Ferris is telling children of the 80s.
Yeah. Life moves pretty fast.
Yeah, because you think in society at the time as well, we're at the point now, the yuppie is just about to become a massive thing, isn't it? By about 84, 80, but by 88, yuppie is full flown. And so yeah, maybe he's seeing what's coming and telling us just to chill out a bit more and not get too caught up in it. But let's see what happens next then. So after walking Sloane home, Ferris realises his parents are due home imminently. And all of a sudden, shit starts to get real.
Boom,
And-
boom, boom.
So he starts to race on foot through the neighbourhood. Again, awesome scene, which I think the opening of The Simpsons kind of nicks. And he's nearly hit by Jeannie, who is driving their mower home. Jeannie notices him and races him home so his mum will catch him. She does this by driving recklessly and arguing with her mother in the car. Ferris makes it home first, but finds Rooney there. Seeing Ferris through the window and remembering the advice of the delinquent, Jeannie has a change of heart. She thanks Rooney for helping return Ferris home safely after he tried to walk home from the hospital, and presents Rooney's wallet as proof of his earlier intrusion. So again, everyone's learning. Apart from Rooney.
And it's just a good chase scene as well. Everything about it.
Yeah.
Even a little scene where he's running through one of the gardens and there's the girl sunbathing. So even though he's really pushed against time, he goes back and introduces himself because he can.
Yeah, it's not tight. I like he's running through the house. It's like, dinner's ready.
Yeah.
I just like it as well because all those little, what we were saying earlier on in that opening scene, all those little, what I was saying, the bits on the chessboard are all coming together now in that chase scene home. All those little elements, the characters, it's all collided together. And will he make it? And I just, even now when you watch it, you're still cheering him on, even though you know what happens. It still gets to you. The tension builds up.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, and yeah, it's good. And then, the Genie change of heart is the swerve that you don't see coming. But you're glad it does.
Does he really have a change of heart and more than just a...
No, this is
Genie.
Genie.
Oh, sorry. I thought you
Yeah,
said
the Genie change of heart. Because all the way through, she's catching her brother out.
Yeah.
And then suddenly she's like, I don't know. As the tiger blood fills her system, she has a change of heart. And it's that sort of, and then and what I like is it proves that she's just as clever as her brother because she uses the wallet to sort of, oh, thank you. And he's like, yeah, and he's got no choice, and Rooney has to go along with it. And she manipulates him possibly even more than the brother ever has done.
Okay, so as Rooney flees from Ferris's Rottweiler, Ferris rushes back to his bedroom to await his parents, who are coming to check on him. Finding him sweaty and overheated, from his run obviously, they suggest he might want to take tomorrow off as well. As his parents leave, Ferris reminds the audience, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. During the end credits, a defeated Rooney heads home and is picked up by a school bus, whereas he is further humiliated by his students. In the post-credits, a surprised Ferris tells the audience the film is over. Just go
So is it
home.
Ferris's fault? Everyone waits for 2 hours after the Marvel credits finish just to see something.
Yeah, because you're kind of used to bloopers, but did we really see a scene like that in films before? I'm not so sure.
No,
None that spring to
A
mind.
post-credit
No.
scene as opposed to just because Cannonball Run, and as we've already mentioned, had bloopers in the
Yeah.
credits, didn't it?
And the
Loads
ones,
of them.
and Smokey and all those
Yeah.
sort of, that, it was all the outtakes and the bloopers and stuff, yeah. Some of them were better than the films, but it's, But
Okay, so we've done a rewatch. I'm assuming you've all done a rewatch of this
Yeah.
film.
It was one of the ones that I was actually really looking forward to.
So I guess the first question. Sorry, Paul, I've taken over. Shut up.
No,
I
go
did this
for it,
at
go
work.
for it. Team
Can't help
effort. Team effort.
Okay, so first question is: does it still stand up?
Yeah.
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 If anything, being older now, maybe it's a bit deeper. Maybe I see it deeper than I did before, where it was like some, skipping score, mucking about and having fun. Now it's like that kind of, sort of say, Cameron's rebirth from the pool when Ferris brings him back and he changes. And I like a metaphor. And just, older eyes looking at it, you kind of, I remember those days.
I think one of the nice things about this film as well is, it was set in the 80s, obviously, but there was nothing really overly 80s about it, if that makes sense. That has
It does make sense. Makes perfect sense. There's not.
I think
There's
that's
no-
a John Hughes skill, I think.
Well, I don't know. Even some of his other films, they're
I
more.
think, Pretty in Pink, 100% 80s.
Oh,
You can't-
fashion-wise, yeah.
Yeah.
But
So you look at Ferris. There's not any overtly 80s themes in it.
yeah.
It's just a kid skipping high school.
Yeah.
The places they go aren't. It's not like he's
Yeah.
gone to a disco. Do you know
Oh,
what I mean? Like,
no, exactly
and
what
you
you're
think
saying.
of a disco
Yeah,
I
on
agree.
screen in the 80s would have been what
Date-
New
date-
York, New York's used to look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's none of that in there. It's maybe the exception of the arcade scene with the girl that.
Yeah, but you can go to those places now
Yeah,
as a
but
retro.
they're retro now.
But no, right, because that's what I liked about the Breakfast Club as well. We said about the Breakfast Club last week's episode. Go check it out. The genius of it being a room in the detention is it could be any time.
Yeah.
There's no
And those stereotypes still exist. So
and it's
They might have different clothes slightly, but
yeah,
not that different, to be honest.
yeah, no, not really.
Shoulder pads have gone down.
Yeah.
In men's suits, particularly.
But no, it's good. It holds up. It stands the test of time, I think.
I was still
And-
laughing.
Yeah.
I've seen this film hundreds of times, but I just even for me to be laughing out loud, even at little bits where Rooney's getting his foot stuck in the mud. I know it's happening. I know it's going to happen. It's all set up, but still laughing at that. It's just really clever, and even the clever bits that while I absorbed them obviously as a kid, I still looking at them thinking actually that's really clever. Like even the bit where the Ferrari's going over, they've taken it for the joyride, and they've obviously got some air, and you're seeing the undercarriage to the Star Wars theme. Yeah, really clever bits. And I was just going, oh. And maybe even the nostalgia of the Star Wars theme as well just played on my mind. But obviously, a lot of the 80s films suffer if they're horror or science fiction because special effects have completely changed. So when you do go back,
That's your opinion, though. I don't think they do.
No, a lot of them do.
I don't think they do.
A lot of them do.
They don't.
A lot of them.
They don't suffer. You just have to accept that
No,
CGI didn't exist.
No, but for new watchers, that going back and watching
Screw the new watchers.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think if they were to watch Ferris Bueller, then that's one of the things that helps them because it's a comedy. And as I said, it doesn't matter really that it's in the 80s. It could be set in any time, and also unlike some of the horror films in that time, if a teenager watches it now, they're thinking, oh, CGI is crap or special effects rather.
Or why don't you just phone home?
Okay, anything else about rewatching it and stuff that made us, standout moments?
No standout moments, but I'm going to answer my own question of does it still stand up? And my answer is not necessarily.
Ooh, hello.
Because my opinion of the film, I haven't seen it for 10, 12 years, maybe even a bit longer than that, to be fair. And I just think Ferris is a twat.
That's because you're older now.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I think
No.
he's a twat. He's a cocky arsehole.
But he was at the time.
Yeah, I know he was at the time.
Oh, but do you think when
Because
you
I'm older, I didn't
first
notice
watched it, you just thought he's this charming kid that gets away with stuff?
Yeah.
Whereas opposed
He's
to the fact...
whinging that he didn't get a car, and yet, I mean, look at that keyboard on the screen now. That costs more than a car.
And he got a computer, which was probably a lot of money
Yeah.
in those days,
And the way he uses his friends to get what he wants.
So we haven't. For those listening, we've now got it on screen, but we haven't got to the bit yet where he gets Fry to phone the principal. I mean, he literally kicks him up the arse and has a go at him for getting it wrong. He's narcissistic, bullying arsehole.
Why'd you kick me?
I forgot
Yeah.
Christy Swanson was in it as well.
Yeah.
so to speak.
Briefly, yeah.
Yeah. Just like, ooh. And,
I mean, I'm not necessarily rooting for Rooney in this, but in the same token, I just think he's a bit of a dick.
yeah. I can definitely see that now. And, well, again, yeah. Is that age? Is that thing? He's one man's hero. Was it one man's rebel as another man's... No, was it one man's freedom fighter as another man's criminal?
Terrorist.
Or terrorist. I didn't want to say that word. I'm not doing hashtag terrorist.
Don't have to. You don't have to hashtag every word we fucking say.
That's what we do.
Although, yes, he is a bit of a git, but through his adventures on that day, he changes his best mate's life for the better. He comes out of a shell.
How do we know he changes it for the better? We don't know what's going to happen when Daddy gets home and sees his like
Yeah, but he's
three
no longer-
quarters of a million
he's
or
no longer
whatever it is
scared of him,
He's
Ferrari.
not always scared of his dad. He's a
Yeah, but he might get beaten just senseless.
That's why they didn't make a sequel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because he's buried out back with the
Yeah,
Ferrari.
he's in the desert somewhere.
Well, this brings us on to the theory,
Yeah,
which has
well,
been disproven.
So, I'm just gonna say
I'll go.
before. So, I've just said all that, but there is one redeeming feature, and that comes later in the film when Cameron does have his like comatose state, and I don't know where they take him, but Cameron is comatose, sat on a wall, and then we get Lewis. Who the fuck's Lewis?
I
We
don't
get Ferris talking to us, and he's saying about, he's going to marry the first person that shows any
Yep.
interest in him. He's just going to be disrespected. He's not going to have a good life. That's that's the only point where you see that he does care about Cameron and is trying to make his life better. But like either side of that, he's a bit of a dick.
Oh yeah, this is all about him having a good day,
Yeah.
but he needs.
So they could have just done. They could have put a little bit more about that in there to make him a bit less of a dick. It's like even though at the very start of the film, I'm taking the day off because I want to show Cameron that if you don't stop and look around,
You keep calling. You keep calling.
all that shit. Don't start watching the film.
Yeah, it's been sucked in.
Well, why'd you put it on?
Just to help jog your memories.
Yeah.
But
I don't need it jogged. Just want to watch the film now.
go on then, hit us with the Fry theory.
I mean, it's disproven, but I just
Well, it's
remember
a load
at
of bollocks
point,
is what
yeah,
it is,
It's
but-
a load of bollocks, yeah. But there was a bit at one point where I read about this and I thought I need to go and watch the film again. And straight away, it's disproven, but it would have been a lot cleverer. I
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of wish this is what they had done.
Yeah.
There is a theory that Ferris Bueller does not exist in the film and is actually a figment of Cameron Fry's imagination. And when you first watch it, you're like, oh, because the only interactions are between Cameron and Ferris to start, but then everyone else does join in. Because you're almost like, oh, wow, yeah. Oh, no, he's talking to someone else now.
Yeah.
And that's it. But it was kind of a cool idea, and maybe someone should make a film like that. I don't know. M. Night Shyamalan. You need a good idea. Yeah, but it was a big thing for me. But I remember reading that, and I was like, oh my god! And I was playing it back in my head, and it'd been a while since I'd seen it, and that was what made me at that point dig it out again and watch it. And but yeah, it's not true. It's like bollocks. But if you find it on the internet, people do go on about it, and it's not true.
No,
But it's a good theory though, and probably would have been a better film.
yeah.
It would have been a different film.
Yeah,
Seriously, I'll turn it off.
that's the first time I looked around.
Yeah, but then I looked around to see what bit it was.
But yeah. So, I mean, the performances I do think do stand up, as you say. Mr. Fry's really good. Sloane, I think, could have been interchangeable with whoever was. You know, she does it really well, Mia Sara, but I don't.
Doesn't really have a lot to do, does she?
Oh, anyone else could have probably done it.
Yeah.
I could have done it. You know what I mean?
Well, you couldn't, because,
That would have been a very progressive film.
yeah, but I don't want to see you in a bikini.
Some people might. you got to target those niche markets.
Well, you can do a TikTok on that.
I couldn't. I'd lose my job. But yeah, no, I think Alan Ruck comes out more of the star. Broderick does for his cheekiness.
I think, you know, Alan Ruck career in my head, yeah, okay, he's still made it's
Young Guns.
Decent earnings, but he's never really had he's never really shone. It's almost disappointing that his career
he is almost hampered by the fact that he's got that face that looks younger. Because I mean, he's in Young Guns 2. I think it's Young Guns 2.
Yeah,
and in there he's playing a much younger character. Because you know when he gives a speech, you led a 15-year-old straight to his grave, and the rest of us to hell. I can't remember what age he says now. It's 15 or something like that.
Yeah,
he's talking about Alan Ruck in that film, and it's like this is after Ferris, so he's like in his 30s by this point. So yeah, you're right. He's a very good actor, but he hasn't.
Yeah, because he's in the
Had that kind of role.
He's Sean Penn's mate in Bad Boys as well. He's the one that he gets when they do the job that they get arrested for. He's the one that gets killed.
Don't need to look at me because I
during
hear
the
you
arrest.
more
Okay.
through my normal
I'm
ears
just
than the
thinking,
headphones.
no. He's the one that gets killed during the arrest, so he's only in it a short while. But again, he's the best friend again. You
Yeah.
know, I think that's if there are actors that have a niche, that's his. He's the best friend, the assistant, the president's assistant. He's not the president; he's the assistant. You know,
and they could have made more out of Sloane's role. To be honest, I mean, the genie is the female actor.
I almost think Sloane's almost in it to just show that Fry doesn't have a girlfriend.
No, but that's what I mean. That they could have used the character a lot more.
That's what I mean, yeah, but it's always there to just show why Ferris is better than Fry, isn't it? He's got a girlfriend here. She is. Look at her. She's doing that. He's like the friend. We need to wake him up more. If anything, if Charlie Sheen didn't appear, you'd be expecting him to cop off with Jennifer Grey at some point. You know, she's the only other female in it. That's probably why Sheen got in there, because it would have been weird, even though Broderick and Jennifer Grey were a couple at that point, or round about then, weren't
Around
they?
about that time, yeah.
Which is a bit weird, but each to their own.
But they weren't brother and sister in real life.
No.
I know.
It's okay.
Let's not go, then we get into the car accident, and let's not go into the car accident.
No, we wouldn't do that. That was not ever going to get mentioned. And we're definitely not going near Inspector Gadget, although he may have done. But yeah. So I'm trying to think who else was in it. Even we've said it already. Jeffrey Jones does a very good job.
Yeah.
And I also like she's been in everything. I don't know her name, but the school secretary lady.
Yeah.
Unsung hero of the film.
Yeah, she's got some really good stuff. So you know the bit at the beginning when she's got the pencils in her ear, in her hair, that was like virtually ad-libbed. she came in with that hairstyle because it's like I think the secretary would have this hairstyle, and Hugh said to her, "How many pencils do you think you could fit in there?" So she put them in, but then she kept them in there. So when they did that shot where she sat on the desk and it's like from a long shot, she just starts taking them out to kind of go, well, how many pencils have I got?
And even just the bits where like they're on the phone arguing, she's dithering around the desk. Just the body language and that as well. It's almost like, you know, you don't even need her to talk. You can see just from how she's doing it, her stress and her displeasure at what she has to do or try and sort out for the headmaster or the principal. Sorry, it's American. And you almost get that kind of an idea of what their day-to-day relationship or work office would be like, with her having to
basically sort out his messes most of the time. And
she's got to sort out his messes. She's like the beaten down assistant.
She's the assistant to Adam Partridge. I've forgotten her name now.
Lynn. That's it, yeah.
She's the Lynn to Adam Partridge.
Again, it's the chemistry between all the characters in all the scenes as well. You know, whoever casted them all either struck gold deliberately or it was just an amazing fluke. But yeah, how they all interact with each other is cool.
Yeah, no, Edie McClurg as Grace, the school secretary. I felt her name needed to be mentioned because she is really good in it. And Bueller's parents, again, people you recognise from all sorts. His dad ended up in Not Another Teen movie as well, didn't he?
No idea. I've not seen Not Another Teen movie.
That's actually, for anyone listening, that's the one that's really good. Because they did all the scary movies and that. They did the Not Another Teen movie. That's the one that's really clever. It's better than all the scary movie ones. But I think the reason it did this at the box office is you do need to have seen all the films to get all the references. And like people like us, we go, "Oh, that's amazing!" That bit. Other people, if they didn't know the films, they wouldn't. You wouldn't get half of it. But I think they got married in real life, didn't they? Weren't they a love story where Bueller's parents actually didn't? Was that how they met or something?
I have no idea.
I think so. I forgot the guy's name now, but I'm sure because she ended up in something we watched.
Well, that's kind of how acting works, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
You don't do one film
crazy.
and then just try and live off that for the rest of your life because you get paid once, so you got to do other acting roles.
But some of those actors that do that, we really like.
Okay, so stuff. Anything else that we didn't like from the film?
More Charlie Sheen.
No, there's nothing. It is basically just a series of sketches.
Is it?
Apparently there is a lot. There were a lot of deleted scenes or something.
I mean, there is a whole backstory that apparently. So Charlie Sheen's character is the son of the parents that Ferris's mum is trying to close the deal.
Oh, with the
on
house.
the house.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of that was taken out. So, and there's a thing that Ferris and the delinquent were mates like years ago, but he went on one way and then he went the other. So that's how he knows who Ferris is. But they're no longer best buddies anymore. They're just acquaintances. That was all taken out of the film.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it is. It's kind of sketch after sketch.
But we've got the setup. We've got the, running storylines.
I mean, at the end, how does Ferris and Sloane get back from Cameron's house to Sloane's house?
Uber.
Don't know.
Exactly. It is just little vignettes.
Good word.
I know. I did film studies. What can I say? But there's nothing to stitch some of the stuff together.
No, you're right. Does it need to be stitched together?
I'm just saying.
Or does it? No, I'm agree. I'm just saying. Does it need to be? Probably in some way. Even if it was like, I would have liked to. Good job that taxi was coming by.
Yeah, exactly.
Or something like that. But yeah, but that you. Sorry.
Yeah, I know it keeps.
Yeah, I think
attacking me
that's
as well.
something that has been polished up in a lot of films, and the story writing, plottings over the years where like suddenly now, you know, people like us have shouted out things like that, and then they've had to put like, oh, that was a long flight, you know, just to kind of appease people, but then with reason, I suppose. But for a John Hughes film, again, this is one of the higher ranking ones, I think. But yeah, you're right though. I think the message sometimes maybe outshines the delivery, but I think it's a good message. So
To screw you on
no,
going.
you know, that's what I mean. That's why I think some of the faults get forgotten because of like it's a bit like the Blues Brothers. The really cool bits are really cool, so the other bits that suck get forgotten about.
But I kind of liked it in its different way of an approach to things like The Breakfast Club, where it's just teens sat in a room working through their differences together. This was, you know, out and about, almost a Challenge Annika version of that, you know, where they do get to see the real world, and they do, you know, have, you know, they still come to, you know, conclusions. They still grow as individuals, but you know, John Hughes has shown he doesn't need that setup of character development and just talking in one room. He's able to do it through comedy sketches.
Although only two characters develop in this, don't they? Ferris doesn't, which is what I like.
Well, I don't know.
Because it's the sister and
but
Fry, isn't it, that develop. Ferris is still
Ferris
got away with it. Yeah.
He gets away with it. He's back in his bed at the end of the day, and you know.
But who knows?
He comes out and tells us all to bugger off home. But that's fine. It's one day in teenager's life, a couple of months before they're about to leave school, so that doesn't need to be necessarily any character development. My point is, it just doesn't fit together like a cohesive film narrative. That was all I was saying. That's what I didn't like about it.
Okay, so final point. As we've talked about stuff we liked, stuff we didn't like, gone through performances and standout characters. So what's its legacy? And we've already, you know, mentioned some of the stuff about Fourth Wall. Already talked about things like Saved by the Bell.
There was a TV series, but we won't go into that.
Candy.
And all the knockoffs. I remember
It lasted one season, didn't it?
Yeah, I did like Charlie Schlatter, though, or whatever his name was. The dude from Diagnosis Murder and 18 Again, the original. And then there was Parker Lewis Can't Lose, which was the knockoff of the knockoff.
Was he in 18 Again? Was he the one in Weird Science as well?
No. And yes, and again, all the stuff that's come from it. I mean, a lot of the teen angst drama stuff all goes back to John Hughes, but this one in particular has a few going on the adventure and not being found out by the parents, and the fourth wall break-in, the plotting headmaster who's gonna get you, or principal, sorry. You know, who's going to get you. And
you'll get it right at some point.
The thing is, I'm going to walk around at school at work tomorrow, and I'm like, hey, Mr. Principal. I'm the headmaster. Like, yeah. But,
Tell you what this has got, what this hasn't got, that most other high school teen movies does.
A dog.
Nope.
No.
Got a dog.
The Big American Party.
Yeah.
There's no high school party in this.
I suppose for them it's the parade, isn't it? The parade is the de facto party. I know what you mean.
They could have done it in like another 20 minutes where, actually, Mum, I feel a bit better now. I'm going to go out for a walk. But what he's actually doing is going
to a kegger.
Yeah. Where they can all play beer pong and drink out of red cups.
I'm not going to say this bit because it's rude.
Some other pong.
I was going to say Sloane Ranger.
Also gave us Yellow to the mainstream musical ear.
That's true, and there's not at least a year that doesn't go by without one of us going, oh,
yeah. No, again, another. I think you're making a declaration. I've got the wasp flying around.
It's not a wasp, it's just a fly.
Fly,
Get a grip of
bee,
yourself,
wasp,
man.
whatever.
Well, it's a big difference. A fly's not going to sting you.
I'm not worried about the sting. I'm just worried about it annoying. Yeah, so it's again another John Hughes film that does use music to add emphasis to key scenes and big moments. And again, nowadays, Stranger Things have taken that and run with it and revived careers now. Stranger Things for music is almost like Tarantino of actors now. People are just going to be like, anyone who had a hit single in about 86, 87 now is
praying
totally,
for that phone call.
Yeah, it's totally chatting up the Duffer Brothers as we speak.
Oh, hold on. But with Stranger Things, the next one's going to be 5 years' time.
Okay, so what would that be then?
Oh, that's a Erasure bugger then, isn't it?
You never know.
So when is Stranger Things at the moment? Mid-80s?
It's about 85, 86.
No, it's
'cause
86.
Chernobyl hasn't happened yet.
So,
I thought Chernobyl was going to be
yeah.
part of the finale.
it's going to be early night. It could be Pearl Jam.
Beat no, because
That's it. Eddie will come back and it's. I'm still. They'll play alive. So, I'm still alive.
See, what I want is Eddie to come back in an American Wealth and London way to Dustin. It's like, Dustin, they're going to come for it. And then every time you see him, he's more messed up.
Yeah.
That if I was writing it, that would be happening. He's like his spirit guide, but he's more messed up each time. But again, all that comes back to this really, and how this brought it into the mainstream, and everyone else copied it. Really, because most of the other teen dramas, we said this before, the Breakfast Club one, most of the teen comedies that were around at the time were sort of the teen sex comedies.
Hang on. So right, this scene here. So they've just parked up in the garage, the parking lot, as it's called. About to hand the keys over. First thing he says to the guy, "Do you speak English?" Entitled "White Arsehole."
Yep.
What country do you think this is, man?
Yeah, exactly. The guy's just a dick.
I'm just waiting to see the other guys now.
There's no one famous.
No.
You say that.
So, any final thoughts, or are we wrapped up with
No,
our...
I think it's just this along with the Breakfast Club, and was it 16 Candles? Was that the first big sort of team? I can't remember the order. But this is the progression to actually looking at teen angst and issues rather than just the Porky's, Revenge of the Nerds, Meatballs kind of sex comedies that were out there, and were funny in their own right. We're not slagging them off, but this was where it kind of we moved away a bit and sort of teenagers are people too, which again, like we said before, dates back to your sort of Rebel Without a Cause type thing with James Dean, where teenagers do have issues. They do think and it's coming into the mainstream now. And then because of John Hughes, over the next 30 years, we're going to end up with all sorts of teen crap and 90210 bollocks. But there's some good in there. There's some good. It's like Darth Vader. There's a bit of good in there still, and most of it was John Hughes in this case.
Cool. Okay, so that was episode 64 of the Cult Faction podcast with our spotlight on Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Please feel free to give us comments, leave us reviews, chip in anything that we may have missed on all of the streaming services that are out there.
Feel free to call me an arsehole for calling Ferris a dick. I don't mind. I can take it.
We're pretty much on all the streaming services. We're on TikTok. We're on Facebook. We're on the mothership, Brett, which is
cultfaction.com.
And as I said, are we wrong? Are we right? Did you absolutely hate Ferris Bueller at the time? Do you hate it now? Let us know. We can also email us at cultfactionpodcast@mail.com if we ever check that account, which I don't know.
That's a good point. I have checked it
the
for a while.
inbox could be full.
If it bounces back, email us again. We will get to them.
And next week, no doubt, we'll be doing a spotlight on another cult classic from the 80s.
It's our summer of teens.
So please check us out next week.
Don't hashtag that, because that sounds like
it does sound a bit
should
wrong.
be somewhere else.
So, I've been Paul Hawkins. Thanks for listening, and I've been joined by
Brett Summers,
Damien Hicks.
Don't have nightmares.
Bolt, bolt.
Chicka chicka.
Superman.
What about Terry Thomas?
A little less conversation, a little more action.
Fucking fuck.
Pulls back. Paul playing the role
Of the exterminator.
No, of an elderly gangster. You fucking fuck. Bowl, bowl, chicka. Shit my pants. Put it in that hole and see if it makes it louder.
That's what she said.
It's me. Finally, we do Revenge of the Nerds, and it's just me now. No one can stop me. Yeah.
Yep.
Bowl, bowl, chicka. Bow, bow, chicka, chicka. Bosh.